Welcome everyone. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating journey into the world of the mysterious and the supernatural. And what better way to explore this realm than through one of humanity's most beloved companions, cats? Throughout history, cats have been the subject of wonder and curiosity. They've been revered in some cultures, feared in others, but always seen as creatures who carry an air of mystery about them. Whether it's their graceful movements, their piercing eyes, or their seemingly supernatural awareness, cats have always seemed a little magical. Have you ever noticed your cat suddenly stop and stare at something you can't see? Or how they seem to react to invisible movements or sounds, leaving us to wonder, what is it they're sensing? Maybe you've heard stories of cats refusing to enter certain rooms, hissing at unseen presences, or even sitting in the same spot, staring into the darkness. These are the moments that make us pause and ask, could cats really see something beyond our perception? Could they have a unique connection to the supernatural? Perhaps even the ability to sense ghosts and spirits? This idea isn't new. It's rooted deep in human history and folklore. From ancient civilizations to modern-day pet owners, cats have long been associated with the mysterious, the magical, and yes, even the paranormal. Today, we're going to dive into that very connection and explore some of the most compelling stories and theories that suggest cats might see more than we do. But before we delve into the eerie tales and the science behind it, let's set the stage by understanding why cats have been linked to the supernatural for so long. After all, their nocturnal nature, their silent movements, and their keen senses seem to make them natural candidates for something otherworldly. So, what's the truth behind this age-old belief? Can cats really see ghosts? Is there a scientific explanation? Or are there forces at play that we're only beginning to understand? Stick with us, because over the next few minutes, we'll explore this fascinating question in depth. We'll look at the ancient myths that connected cats to spirits, the modern stories that give us goosebumps, and the science that explains their seemingly supernatural behavior. Let's dive into this mystery together. To truly understand the connection between cats and the supernatural, we have to journey back through time, into the rich folklore and history that have shaped this mystical bond. Our story begins in ancient Egypt, where cats were revered like gods. Egyptians believed that cats had a special connection to the divine, and this connection extended beyond the living world. Cats were seen as guardians of the home and protectors of sacred spaces, keeping evil spirits at bay. In fact, the goddess Bade, often depicted with the head of a lioness or domestic cat, was the goddess of home, fertility, and, interestingly, protection from spirits and evil forces. Cats were so highly valued that harming or killing one was punishable by death. Now, let's move forward in time to the Middle Ages in Europe, a period when cats took on a darker, more sinister role in human imagination. Black cats, in particular, became associated with witchcraft and were thought to be familiars. Animals that could assist witches in casting spells or communicating with the spirit world. In some superstitious beliefs, it was even said that witches could transform into cats to sneak through the night unseen. Cats, especially black ones, became symbols of bad luck and were often believed to carry dark energies or be in cahoots with spirits or ghosts. But the story of cats and the paranormal doesn't stop there. In Japan, cats are also linked to the supernatural, but in a slightly different light. The Nakomata is a mythical cat said to possess the ability to control the dead. In Japanese folklore, it's believed that when a cat grows old, its tail can split in two, turning it into a Nakomata. This creature was said to have the power to raise the dead and command spirits, adding another layer of mystique to cats' supposed connection to the afterlife. Moving to the Celtic world, cats were often viewed as guardians of the mystical realm. The Cait Sith, a large black cat with a white spot on its chest, was believed to roam the Scottish Highlands. Legend has it that this magical creature could steal souls from the dead before they reached the afterlife. During funerals, people would take precautions, such as distracting the cat with loud music or riddles, to prevent it from snatching a soul. And even in modern times, cats remain mysterious and powerful symbols. Many cultures today still see them as protectors, while others continue to link them to otherworldly forces. In many homes, black cats are still regarded with suspicion, while others embrace them as good luck charms. What's common across all these stories, from Egypt to Europe to Japan, is the idea that cats are more than just animals. They're spiritual creatures, capable of walking between worlds, guardians of the living, and perhaps even sentinels of the dead. This long-standing belief in cats' supernatural abilities certainly sets the stage for understanding why so many people today think their feline companions might be sensing something beyond our world. While ancient myths and legends about cats' connection to the supernatural continue to fascinate, modern beliefs add a whole new dimension to this mystery. Today, there are plenty of pet owners, paranormal investigators, and even pet psychics who believe that cats have the ability to sense things beyond our understanding, especially when it comes to the presence of spirits. Take, for instance, the numerous stories shared by people online and in books. Many cat owners report seeing their feline companions act strangely around areas thought to be haunted. Cats are often seen staring into the corners of rooms, their eyes wide, or following something invisible with their gaze. It's as if they're tracking an entity that we simply can't perceive. These accounts are difficult to ignore, especially when they come from those who insist they live in homes with paranormal activity. Some paranormal investigators believe that cats, with their heightened senses, are particularly attuned to changes in the environment that could indicate a spiritual presence. Cats' sharp senses of hearing and vision may make them more sensitive to even the slightest shifts in energy, temperature, or sound, things that humans can't detect. When cats suddenly freeze, their eyes locked on an empty space, some suggest it could be a sign of detecting something out of the ordinary. It may not just be dust in the air. Could it be a ghost passing through? Then there are pet psychics, people who claim they can communicate with animals on a spiritual level. Many of these psychics believe that cats, in particular, are spiritual beings. Some psychics even argue that cats act as intermediaries between the living world and the spirit world. According to these theories, cats are able to see spirits and communicate with them, offering comfort or protection to their human companions in the process. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, it's hard to deny the deep bond between cats and the mysterious, unseen world. In recent years, paranormal investigations have even brought technological tools into the equation. Devices like EMF meters, used to detect changes in electromagnetic fields, are sometimes employed in homes where cats exhibit strange behavior. Investigators will set up cameras and use these tools to try to capture evidence of paranormal activity. Interestingly, in some cases, cats' seemingly inexplicable reactions correspond with unusual readings from these devices, lending more weight to the idea that they might be sensing something beyond what humans can detect. One famous modern-day story involves a haunted hotel where guests and staff reported strange occurrences. In the dead of night, the hotel's resident cat would often react to invisible guests, sitting and staring down hallways as if following someone unseen. Many guests claim to feel chills or sense a presence in the exact spots the cat focused on. Whether coincidence or not, the cat's behavior sparked endless speculation that it could see the spirits lingering in the hotel. While these modern beliefs and stories may sound far-fetched to some, they tap into something ancient, a belief that cats exist on a plane just slightly beyond our own. Whether they're reacting to shifts in energy or perhaps even sensing something more spiritual, modern-day accounts continue to strengthen the notion that cats have a unique connection to the paranormal. So, could it be that these mysterious creatures see what we can't? Whether it's scientific or supernatural, the way cats seem to perceive the world certainly gives us reason to wonder if there's more going on around us than meets the eye. While the idea of cats sensing ghosts or spirits is fascinating, science offers its own explanation for the mysterious behavior we often observe in our feline friends. In this part, we'll break down the science behind their remarkable senses, how their vision, hearing, and even their whiskers contribute to behaviors that might seem supernatural, but have solid biological foundations. Let's start with one of the most intriguing aspects of cats: their incredible eyesight. Cats have evolved to be nocturnal hunters, which means their eyes are specially adapted for low-light conditions. Their pupils can dilate much larger than ours, allowing them to take in more light, even in near total darkness. On top of that, cats have a layer of cells in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum, which reflects light back through the retina, enhancing their night vision. This reflective layer gives them that eerie glow when light shines on their eyes in the dark. While it's not the ability to see ghosts, this heightened sensitivity to light might explain why they seem to react to things that are invisible to us. They could simply be detecting subtle changes in light that we wouldn't notice. Moving on to hearing, cats have one of the sharpest senses of hearing in the animal kingdom. Their ears can pick up a vast range of sounds, including frequencies much higher than what humans can hear. A cat's ear muscles allow them to rotate their ears nearly 180 degrees, enabling them to pinpoint the faintest noises from any direction. While we may be unaware of a quiet creak, a distant rustling, or a high-pitched sound, your cat can detect it instantly. They might freeze or stare into an empty space, but in reality, they could be reacting to a faint sound that's completely beyond our range. Could this heightened sensitivity explain some of those seemingly ghostly moments? Quite possibly, but it's not just their eyes and ears that make cats such finely tuned creatures. Their whiskers, or vibrissae, are also highly specialized sensory tools. These long, stiff hairs are deeply embedded in their skin and are connected to sensitive nerve endings. Cats use their whiskers to detect even the smallest air currents or changes in their environment. This ability allows them to navigate in complete darkness and sense objects or movements without even seeing them. When you see a cat twitching its whiskers or reacting to something that seems invisible, they could actually be responding to a subtle environmental shift that you'd never be aware of. Let's not forget the sense of smell. While not as strong as a dog's, cats have a highly developed olfactory system. They use their nose to detect pheromones, which are chemical signals that animals use to communicate. Cats have a special organ called the Jacobson's organ, located on the roof of their mouth, that helps them detect these pheromones more effectively. It's possible that when your cat is acting mysteriously, it's picking up on a scent or pheromone trail that's completely invisible to humans. When you combine all of these extraordinary senses, it's easy to understand why cats might behave in ways that seem mysterious or even supernatural. Their finely tuned vision, hearing, whiskers, and smell allow them to perceive things in their environment that are beyond our capabilities. So while it might seem like they're seeing ghosts or sensing spirits, it's more likely that they're just responding to sensory inputs we don't notice. However, this doesn't take away from the fascination. There's something undeniably mystical about the way cats perceive the world. It's no wonder that their ability to see, hear, and feel things beyond our perception has led to countless stories and legends about their connection to the supernatural. So the next time your cat suddenly stares into a dark corner or seems fixated on something you can't see, remember, it could just be that they're picking up on a faint sound or flicker of light. Or, who knows, maybe they really are seeing something beyond the veil. Whether it's science or something more, there's no denying the awe that comes with the way cats interact with the world around them. While scientific explanations can account for much of a cat's strange behavior, there are countless stories from people who believe their cats have had direct encounters with the supernatural. These real-life anecdotes blur the line between science and the paranormal, and some of them are downright chilling. Take, for example, the story of a woman who lived in a centuries-old farmhouse. She reported that her cat, Oliver, would often sit in the same spot near the attic door, staring intently at it for hours. At first, she thought it was just a quirk of his personality, but soon strange occurrences started happening. She began hearing footsteps in the attic at night, despite being the only person home. What made it more unsettling was how Oliver would growl low in his throat every time the noises began. One night, after hearing the unmistakable sound of something heavy being dragged across the attic floor, Oliver let out a loud hiss and darted into hiding. The woman became convinced that whatever was in the attic wasn't just an old house settling, but something much more sinister that only Oliver could see. Then there's the case of a cat named Luna, who lived in an apartment known for its paranormal activity. Luna's owner frequently experienced cold spots, flickering lights, and objects moving on their own. However, it was Luna's behavior that truly gave her owner goosebumps. One evening, as her owner was reading, Luna suddenly arched her back, puffed up her tail, and began hissing furiously at an empty corner of the room. Luna then followed something with her eyes, as if an invisible figure was moving across the room. Luna's owner would later discover that the previous tenant had left the apartment after claiming to have seen shadowy figures moving through that very same corner. Another eerie story comes from a man who lived in a house once used as a Civil War hospital. His cat, Smokey, had always been a calm, relaxed companion, until the man started renovating the house. The first time Smokey reacted, he was in the basement where old medical equipment from the Civil War era was being stored. Smokey froze, his ears twitching, eyes locked on something in the shadows. Suddenly, he bolted upstairs as if something had frightened him. Over the next few months, as renovations continued, Smokey became increasingly agitated, especially when near the basement. He would hiss, growl, and even swipe at the air. After hearing what sounded like distant whispers in the basement one night, the man began to wonder if Smokey was reacting to the lingering spirits of soldiers or medical staff who had once worked there. Even in more recent times, pet owners share their own mysterious encounters online. One user on a paranormal forum recounted how her cat, Midnight, would often wake her in the middle of the night, meowing frantically and staring at the bedroom door. This behavior started happening shortly after she moved into a new home, which had once been owned by an elderly couple. Midnight's owner would later discover that the wife had passed away in the house, and it was believed that her spirit still lingered. Midnight's behavior, staring at the door, meowing as if trying to communicate with someone, led her owner to wonder whether the cat was sensing the spirit of the old woman. In yet another chilling story, a family had just moved into an old Victorian house when their cat, Whiskers, started acting strangely. Whiskers refused to enter certain rooms, often hissing and running away when they tried to bring her inside. The most unsettling part came one night when the family heard faint music playing, like an old gramophone. They searched the house, but found nothing. As they walked back into the living room, they saw Whiskers sitting stiffly, staring at the corner where the sound seemed to come from, her fur bristling. The family would later learn that the previous owner had a collection of old gramophones, and the one in the living room had reportedly played by itself even after the owner had passed away. These stories may seem outlandish, but they capture something deeply unsettling about the way cats can react to their surroundings. Whether it's a sudden hiss at an empty space, refusing to enter certain rooms, or staring intently into the darkness, these behaviors have convinced many that cats can indeed sense something beyond our understanding. For those who believe in the paranormal, these stories serve as powerful examples of the connection between cats and the supernatural. Even for skeptics, it's hard to deny the sense of mystery that surrounds our feline companions when they seem to perceive something we cannot see. Could these behaviors be explained by their sharp senses alone? Or do they truly have the ability to detect spirits and energies beyond our world? Whatever you choose to believe, these stories leave us with an eerie sense of wonder and a reminder that our world may be stranger than we think. So, can cats really sense ghosts? Are they reacting to invisible spirits or simply using their incredible senses to detect things beyond our perception? After exploring centuries of folklore, modern beliefs, scientific explanations, and eerie real-life stories, it's clear that the answer may not be so simple. Cats have been shrouded in mystery for thousands of years, from their revered status in ancient Egypt to their association with witches in medieval Europe. Their sharp senses, vision, hearing, whiskers, and smell give them the ability to perceive the world in ways we can't fully understand. But what about those moments when science can't explain it all? When a cat seems to react to something no one else can see? Are we simply witnessing their natural instincts at work, or could there be something more? The truth is, we may never fully know. Perhaps the most compelling part of this mystery is that it invites us to look closer, not just at our feline companions, but at the world around us. Cats remind us that there is so much more to explore, and they leave us with that sense of wonder and curiosity about the unseen. After all, the idea that these mystical creatures might be in touch with the supernatural is both eerie and exciting. It taps into the timeless human fascination with what lies beyond the visible world. Whether you believe in the paranormal or prefer a more scientific explanation, there's no denying that cats will always carry an air of mystery. They have the power to inspire both fear and awe, curiosity and reverence. So, the next time your cat freezes and stares into the darkness, take a moment to wonder, what might they be seeing that you cannot? Whether it's a shadow in the corner or something more ethereal, one thing's for sure, our feline friends will continue to amaze and mystify us. And this mystery doesn't stop with cats. If this video has sparked your curiosity, there's a whole world of supernatural stories waiting to be explored. From the legends of dogs sensing danger to birds as omens, the connection between animals and the unseen world is as vast as it is intriguing. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed exploring this topic and want to dive deeper into similar mysteries, be sure to check out our other videos on supernatural phenomena and animal behavior. And remember, sometimes the most extraordinary things are happening right in front of us, if only we know how to look for them.